Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a nice, pleasant summer evening. It was cloudy most of the day here in Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, during the time I was driving my new 1968 Chrysler convertible back home, so I haven't had the top down yet. All right, we'll get going. As we can see, after the market sold off hard on Friday, we had a bullish day, which still hasn't gotten us back up above the T-line. But if we go by the premise of you let the market tell you what the market is doing, as we can see in the history of the Dow here for the last few months, if I can do this correctly, we have a pullback, 2 months of uptrend, pullback, 2 months of uptrend, pullback, 2 months of uptrend. Now we're in a pullback situation. Now we have to see what they do tomorrow with this market. Joe, I'm up here in the North Hills. So again, this is why the Japanese rice traders say, let the market tell you what the market is doing, because everybody else can see what the market's doing, so they can make their decisions accordingly. Now, had a nice strong up day in the Dow. The S&P did a bullish harami. The Stochastic's getting close to the oversold area, but notice maybe I have not done this right. Let's see. But I'm doing this all goofy, aren't I? We're getting down here close to the oversold area, but notice that the stochastics on the markets don't get into the oversold area. They just come back as a pullback. So we might be getting close to where if they start bringing it back up above the T-line, you want to be going pretty much longer. Right now, should have a few short positions just in case. And we'll take a look at some of those. The NASDAQ also did this big hammer type signal. Makes this very simple. Got a little wedge setting up. They'll tell us which way they want to go with this based on how they open this tomorrow. Obviously, if they open it weaker, this was a failure. If they open it positive, they're going to take it back up through the T-line. So right now, they just don't want to sell this market off at this point. All right, so even when the market gets a little bit sloppy, we've still got price patterns that are working extremely well. Maxwell, which has been one of our recommendations. We're going to go through some of our recent recommendations just to show why we were buying them. Big fry pan bottom, cup and handle, small fry pan bottom, and it just hasn't been able to get back through the T-line on it. Even the big down day, they're still trading slightly positive. So this is why having the ability to see what goes on in a price pattern or know what the investor sentiment is that created that price pattern puts you in an advantage in that at least you're in a pattern that if things get a little bit weaker in the market, that doesn't necessarily mean the price pattern is going to do or pull back. Do you use the 34 EMA? Not very often in the stock area. I use it more often over in the trading commodities. Okay. Now ADES, another one that we've been playing with. Notice when it bounced off, came out of a fry pan bottom, did a little J hook, hasn't been able to close below the T-lines. Stay long on this one. And Vivus. Another one that has not been able to get back below the T line. Let's make this big so we can see it. Hasn't been able to get back below the T line. Notice what it's done when it's got up over the 200. It just won't come back below the 200, allowing the T line to catch up. I would suspect you're going to see another strong move coming off here. I use the word suspect because this is what the normal reaction is. When they come up through a resistance level and they can't push back down through it, acting as support, that means they're ready to take it higher. And let's see. Camp, also another one that has a very nice pattern to it. There's your little fry pan, strong move. There's another little rounding bottom, strong move. It's been moving up, pulling back, but we're still in an uptrend as long as we stay above the T line. And notice how they came out of this little rounding bottom with that gap up. Couldn't pull back below the T line. Still in an uptrend until you see a sell signal. IMMR, same scenario, came out of this breakout, rounding bottom. Had the opportunity to close below the T line today. Big opportunity, but they brought it right back up to the T line. Now remember, I would bet you down to donuts that 99.99999% of the people in the world don't even know or use the 8 exponential moving average. They don't even know that it exists. And these prices seem to move naturally back up above the above these levels. Okay. So IMMR, if this opens positive, remember this had a breakout, rounding bottom. Look for another breakout. It's probably already in that uptrending channel. RBC, we mentioned last week, because it's gapped up, left-right combo, gap up, doji gap up, scoop type pattern. This has everything in the makings to take this up toward the 200 and the 50. Everybody was following UNXL, which makes for very interesting. I don't know what this line is. Notice where this closed today. A bullish Harami right at the 200-day moving average. Stochastics in the oversold area. This becomes a very safe trade. If this opens positive tomorrow, you know you're probably going to have at least a bounce up here to the T line, which even a bounce from here is going to be a good 15% move to get up there. So that could be a good option play because you've got everything going for you. Oversold conditions, stochastics, bullish Harami, well in the oversold area, right at the 200-day moving average, and he did a spinning top doji type day, and we know the simple rule of a doji. It's going to move in the direction of how they open it after a doji. So if this opens positive, you can be buying immediately. All you want to not see is it comes back down through the 200-day moving average at all. The 200, the 50, and the 20 is not on this chart. It's on the 20. Are all the same moving averages that all the money managers around the world use to make their decisions. So they act as very good support and resistance levels because that's where big money's making their decisions. The advantage we have is that we can see exactly what's going on in investor sentiment at those levels. Let's see, SPPI got a little bit antsy today, but also closed right back up above the T line, making this cup and handle setup still in a very high probability situation. INFN, that's what we're going to start doing is if you'll save your questions to the end, that way we can just kind of go through as a flow and I've got 3 or 4 charts here you can see on, I don't know, Uh, just I got different charts, and I don't know where the 20 went on here. I'll find it. It's somewhere. Okay. IFN or INFN. If this is wave 1, this is wave 2, and wave 3 is starting with a morning star, abandoned baby, broken through this level. Nothing to be concerned about, especially if this opens positive tomorrow. As Doji Sandwich takes you even further up this J-hook pattern. Okay. We also recommended DXCM today for a very specific purpose. It was doing a left-right combo. It was setting up for a J-hook type pattern. So if it started trading positive from here, you've got a J-hook coming out of a fry pan bottom, making this very attractive. I'm going to kind of skip around here a little bit. That's exactly what happened. I don't know why that exactly. Oh, I know why. Because if you see where they broke this out, right smack dab at the resistance level. Notice how they couldn't get it below the T line. You were already in the overbought area, then bam, they blasted it up. So anytime we can see buying going into a resistance level with kind of a pattern signal, there's a left-right combo coming off the 50, close above the T line. They can't close it below the T line. And then look what they do. They gap it up through this resistance level, and that's what starts your big move. So we're always kind of looking for the chart patterns that are setting up by, well, we'll show the what's happening here. They're setting up, let me make this a little bit easier to see. As you can see, we've got a nice strong move to the upside, this little double bottom type situation. And look where we are, right here, smack dab on the resistance level. Makes this very simple. If it opens positive, stochastic still coming up, you're probably going to see a breakout and another wave, at least this magnitude, and then maybe the uptrend much stronger. Same scenario with ACAD. Kind of setting up to where you've got a resistance level. If they break this out through, especially this little area right here, notice they can't get it back below the T line. You've got the possibility of a breakout, and that was pretty much what we were looking for right here on this one. These DXCM, if they break this out, you probably got some good, strong upside. Now, I use the term loosely, probably some good upside. Probably is because you've got everything setting up for a pattern that we know works extremely effectively, and we're at a resistance level of that pattern. If they go through here, we have the advantage to see that there was a pattern setting up, had a strong buy signal, left-right combo, and then moved up to a resistance level. We know to be buying immediately on a positive open because we're seeing a buy signal going into a resistance level. That puts everything in our evaluation in favor of this breaking out. Why is it going to break out? Because if this starts trading positive and it starts moving up, everybody and their brother, they don't have to be a big technician to see that this is a breakout area. That's where this is the new hook. This is your uptrend, your pullback, and now the hook that's heading up. And if this is wave 1, wave 3 will be of the same magnitude. Let's see. Did IMIR? Let's see. And okay, so RPRX is a perfect example of the failed move up through. It shouldn't have come back through, especially the T line, more so the 50, because notice I was supporting to the 50. This one should have been closed out. Now we're looking for new hooks using letter A to Z. Okay, I don't. Oh, let's see. All right, so everybody's yeah, Marilyn, you might have to log off and log right back on. I don't know. That sounds more like a feed situation. Okay. And INFI. This is exactly the reason why when you see a gap down, when it's supposed to be in an uptrend, close it immediately because that's not the direction it's supposed to be going. This now becomes more of a short situation than it does a long. But anytime I see a gap down, unless there's something that was indecisive, in this case it wasn't decisive. It was a good strong gap down, close out the position. It's going the wrong way. All right, so we've got some other good charts like Q-Core. You get set up watching this. Good J-hook type pattern setting up, which is a bullish engulfing signal. You got a Morningstar signal, a sell-off, a bullish engulfing signal, and notice where your stochastics are, just now nudging up off the top of the oversold area. This one can be bought on positive trading tomorrow. SSRI. Let's make this bigger so we can see what we're looking at here. Pop up through the 50. Bearish Harami, which told us that if they open this lower, you want to be out of the position. But notice what they did. They now did a doji Harami, which makes this very simple analysis. If they open this positive tomorrow, they're moving in the direction of how they opened it after a doji, number one. Number two is telling us that they aren't coming back through. They're using the 50 as support, not coming back through that level. You want to be a buyer. This is probably wave one, starting your J-hook wave 3 setup. So everything that I look at as far as now analyzing a chart is based on what do the signals tell me, what's the pattern telling me, and what are the probabilities based upon the signal, and what does that do to your pattern. Nice strong price move. Where's the move back to? Smack dab to the T-line. Big kind of spinning top. They open this positive. What's it telling me? They can't get through the T-line. The J-hook pattern's in progress. And if it moved from 24 to 32, 8 points, I can pretty much calculate it moves from here from 31 approximately up to the $39 range. And so that's where you can put your option strategies in, because two things that we get the advantage of as far as candlestick signals. Number one, we can see what immediately is going on in investor sentiment. Number two, we know the timing of it. We know if they open positive the next day. Jess, no, that's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we're going to be doing call spreads and credit spreads and show the difference between the two and why we use one versus the other, which will all be very simple. Overstock, wave one, wave two, just makes it very simple as far as the analysis. Doesn't seem like they can get down through this level. If they break through this level, what do we have? We have wave three. So it allows us to have time to set up and say, all right, I want to be watching this move, and if it breaks out through this level, we know exactly what type of pattern it should be producing and what the magnitude of that pattern will be. KND, fry pan bottom, strong price move. When was it time to take profits? When we saw in the oversold area, in the overbought area, we saw a doji opening lower the next day, away from the T-line. What's the probabilities of something happening here? More than likely, they're going to take it back to the T-line. Again, I'll relate my own history. If I saw this, I wouldn't sell because, boy, even though it might sell off a little bit, what if I sold here and it turned right around and zoomed up? Well, now I've gotten obviously acclimated to the fact that prices do not move straight up. Take your profits. You can always buy back in knowing that the price is moving in your direction. Now notice this little move right here. That's exactly why you want to be taking a look at. Oh, pshaw. Which one was it? Oh. Big price move. Moved right. Look at the pennant type formation. Doji gap up right as the T-line was catching up. Let's see. CLDX. Little rounding bottom. Left-right combo. Gap up above the T-line. Stays above the T-line. Inverted hammer. Positive trading. Doji. What's the Doji tell us? It's going to move in the direction how they open it. And they're already look like they're in an uptrend. If they open this positive, which way are they going? More likely they're going positive. And if they break out through this level, now what do we got? We've got another wave to the upside. Heath, we'll get to all of those. Let's get through the ones that I've looked at, and then we'll just do general questions, and then we'll do specific stocks. Goro, Doji gap up. What's our best friend? A Doji gap up. What do we got here? Kind of a scoop pattern. This one you stay long. When it gets up here, you just watch it with a little bit of extra diligence, because where is it going to kind of resist? Probably right here. Now, if it doesn't resist here, what's that telling you? Tells you it's going through the handle and going through here. Look for a very strong slingshot effect out the other side. GameStop. Strong move, pull back, Morningstar signal, up through the 50, through the T-line. If this goes into wave 3, wave 1 was from 26 to 40, 14 points. 14 points from here takes you up into the $48 range. High volume bars are insignificant in your analysis. Yes, the only time that volume becomes an important aspect is if you see a reversal day or 3 days and there was big volume during that time, that basically tells you there's been a lot of exchange of ownership, and he's usually the weak selling into the strong. FSS, fry pan bottom, wave 1, little curve consolidation, Morningstar signal. Anytime you see a junky trading area ending up with a Morningstar signal, acts like that little mini scoop. There will be a slingshot effect to the upside. And let's see, LRCX. LRCX. That's robust coffee. I might have made a very much different. Okay. Same scenario. Fry pan bottom, strong price move. Little rounding bottom right at the breakout level. Bid opens positive. That tells you the profit taking that hit here is over. They're taking it out into new area. Okay, now to kind of be safe right now, you probably want to have a few short positions, and we're looking for short positions that have something that is recognizable as a short. Notice right here, this topped out at the same level it topped out before. You started seeing them that they couldn't stay above the T-line, and bam, bam, bam. This is the type of chart you'd like to get short in. So here's one where we've got a down day, a doji. What do we know about a doji, especially right on a moving average? If they open it lower, that means they're going to probably trade it lower, and if they trade it lower, they're probably going to do a doji sandwich, And if they do a doji sandwich, they're well below the T line, which means they're rolling this over, probably targeting the 50-day moving average. So everything that we can put into our analysis that says if this happens and this happens and this happens, right now I'd be ready to short this one, REGI, Renewable Energy Group. If this opens lower tomorrow, notice what we've had up here, little dojis and then down through the T line. Stochastics are getting toward, that's only halfway down. But if they start slamming this, where is everybody obviously going to expect it to move? Probably down here to the 50-day moving average. So you know you've got about probably a 15% profit. And they'll usually happen pretty quick, like in 2 or 3 days they'll get down to that level. All right, poor Carol, yep. SPWR. If it opens lower, what type of setup do we have? Doji sandwich, which means they're going to be taking it down hard. Look for it to move to the 2 or down to the 50. Pandora, the big signal up here. Big. Remember that was a big bearish belt hold. And then they had a bearish Harami gap down. Now, you got to be a little bit careful because it hit a support level. But if they break through this, because they've still got stochastics heading down, that means your next support level, which becomes the 200-day moving average, should be your target. Even with stochastics in oversold area. Well, we talked about, right now I don't see, they're in the 40-32. They've still got more downside. And remember, when they start selling these stocks off, they sell them off hard and fast because everybody wants to bail out and get out of them when they see everybody else bailing out. Where do most people sell? They panic sell at the bottom. Where do most people buy? They buy exuberantly at the top. Now we're back below the T line. That could be your potential target. Oh, okay. On SP, let me see, SPWR. What was the question? Yes, it will trade. Stochastics oversold. Yes, still not in the oversold area. Oversold is below the 20 line here, and we're not there yet. It was on Regi, all right, REGI. Same scenario. We're still at the 62.49. Let me make this. So there's still more downside. We're not anywhere close yet to the 20 range. So this tells me there's still a lot more downside potential. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Dust. Oh, mercy sakes, I forgot the commodities. Dust. Stay short. Now you're just getting into the oversold area, but notice what you did today. You broke down below the last support level. There's a good possibility the 200-day moving average is your next target. Yeah, dust is a commodity. I've got tons of it right here in my office. Doji gap down. Anytime you see that gap down, they're going to take it in that direction. So if this opens weaker tomorrow, you definitely want to be shorting it. Let's see. NUGT is the opposite of dust. That one can be a positive or a bullish scoop type bullish. And we'll get to the commodities here in a minute. Let's see. We did FFIV, MLNX. Another one. This is where you kind of observe the obvious. The obvious is you're in a downtrend. Now they're gapping it down. That tells you they could be taking this down pretty hard from this point. and APOG, that rolling over. They can't get it up above the T line. They're giving up. Look for the next target down here at the 200. And FTNT. Notice what this one has done. When it gapped down, started back up. Notice the great enthusiasm of this uptrend. Very, very, very slow. Then notice where it's finally turned. Just touched the 50. Did a bearish engulfing signal. If this opens weaker tomorrow, you basically have a wave 1, wave 2 up to the resistance level, and starting wave 3 to the downside. So you want to keep an eye on this one. This just kind of tells you that the bulls weren't really strong, and they finally hit the first resistance level, and the bears were right back in there. Kind of a blue eyes failure, but usually the moving average has something to target for. So at least the first target on this one is coming back to test the lows, and more than likely they'll probably go lower. SBGI, another one is rolling over slowly. Stochastics have some juice now that they've built up, which means if they open this lower, it's breaking this resistance or support level. They're heading for the 50. If they break the 50, this could be a good washout from here. Trip. Gap down through the T-line. Makes this very simple. If this opens lower, expect them to head for the 50-day moving average, which is where bounced before. And CAR, KAR, notice how they roll it over, then doji gap down. This should have a lot more to the downside. Again, your stochastic still heading in a downward direction, not in the oversold area yet. Navistar, whoops, that's nay. Gap down, failure. If they break the 50, next support level is way down here. And KNL, another rollover, that dumpling top. And then notice this is where you kind of observe the obvious. What direction are we going in? We're obviously in a downtrend. You could draw a line right down through these tops, which means where's your next target? Draw a line down through the bottoms. You're way down here somewhere. So this is where they can just kind of pull the plug and move down extremely fast. Okay, I forgot some of the commodities that are affecting the market. Crude oil, still in this very kind of flat, sideways, slow downtrend. Right now, I would probably be shorting crude oil, especially if it came back down through this level, which means if they do indecisive trading and get here, down here, stay down below the T line, they're still taking it down. Interest rates. Still, bond prices still heading down. Nothing coming back up. So that means interest rates are getting kind of moving up a little bit. And, gold. Gold also in this downtrend, not a very strong force to the upside. So you definitely kind of watch to see if they do another sell signal here. You're going to be in this downtrending channel. Silver. Wouldn't be buying or selling silver right now. It's not going up. I'd be ready to short it if it came back down through this level. Oops, hold on. Sorry about that. Yeah, cotton got whacked today, or not got whacked, got big time reversal. Sorry, I was delayed here for a second. I'm watching the Pirates game on silent, and it looked like there was a ball smack dab down the middle of the plate, and he called it a ball. Anyways, but cotton had a big reversal today. Now, we've got to see how they open it tomorrow. This might just be a bounce during this downtrend, which was short covering. So if they open it positive, you know that buying is there. If they open it negative, you know that it was just a bounce in this downtrend. Patty, we don't have a service for futures trading, but anyways, we can. I do mention them in the chat rooms each day. When I'm here. Today was a car day. Let's see what else we got. The dollar. Dollar has rolled over. There's the bearish engulfing signal, closed below the T line. Stochastic still coming down. I would suspect here's your next target. And so that means the British pound moving back up. It's up above the 50. The euro also in a uptrend. I suspect it's going to aim for these recent highs. Let's see. I know there's something else. Gold, silver, dollar. Let's see. Sugar. Sugar's still in a downtrend. I shorted sugar the other day. Notice what they did right here at the T-line. Left-right combo stays short until you see a buy signal. And the cattles are kind of just in a slow, sluggish downtrend. Feeder cattle below the T-line, and live cattle can't get up above the 50, and it's trading back below the T-line tonight. Let me see what lean hogs are doing. Lean hogs have gotten right smack dab to the 200-day moving average with stochastics in the overbought area. So that's where you got to watch to see if they start pulling it back. This is not an uncommon. This is a very common chart pattern. They start pulling it back, but they support on the T-line, and the T-line pushes it back up through. Natural gas looks like it's in this downtrending channel. Nothing there yet to show us that there's any buying. Stochastic still heading down, probably down here to the 200. That wouldn't even get you close to this downtrending channel. Here, yeah, it could probably get back down below the 200. The Japanese yen trying to come back up. It's been in a long, steady downtrend. Staying down below the 50. So you got to see what it does here. If it can get up through here, that'll be the first time it's been able to break above it and stay above it. And I don't know what the Aussie dollar is. Is that AU? No. Let's see. What is that? Anglo gold. Gold, silver, dollar. Soybeans. Soybeans still in a nice steady uptrend. Wheat. Whoops. ZW. And wheat. Wheat kind of sideways. It still has to break through this channel. In Forex, it's AUD. No, let's see. Wonder if it's S.AUD. No, it's not. It would be that. That's the Australian bond. Yep, I'll have to find it. AD. No, that's not it. I'll have to figure out what it is on here. And corn. Corn is also in this very slow, sluggish uptrend. Nothing. I wouldn't be trading corn right now. It's not not worthwhile one way or the other. Okay, so that's about all I got right now. We have to definitely see how they open this market tomorrow. Obviously, a lower open tells us they're still resisting at the T-line on the Dow. If they open up positive, that tells us that our little profit taking's over and they're still back in an uptrend. Hold on to your individual ones until we get, and try to keep it limited to 2 so that we can get to everybody tonight. But all right, so do we have any questions on candlesticks? General questions. Your stochastic indicator, it's a slow stochastics. How it will be set on TAC platform if your parameters are 1233, what number 3 is the average for? If somebody could help AP, somebody that has their stochastic set up on TOS. How do you deal with chopping about above and below the T-line? Jim, if something comes back below the T-line and then starts showing indecisive trading, that tells me there's not too much here that is showing that they want to stay below it very long. It's when you start getting something like this, where you start seeing definite selling below the T-line. That tells you a direction has started. I'm trying to get in the same scenario right in here where now that's not bobbing back and forth. Right in here, you got to kind of project which way you think the trend is going. With the stochastics heading up, you give it a little bit more benefit of the doubt that you're in an uptrend. Okay, whoops, now I've even missed the, can this work in penny stocks? Yes. Candlestick signals do not work on any specific market. All they're measuring is the difference or the change of investor sentiment. So you can be trading stocks, penny stocks, commodities, futures, whatever currencies, tulip bulbs, anything that has fear and greed in it is going to be showing up in the investor sentiment on these charts. So they work just as well on a penny stock, provided you've got enough volume to make a smooth move. If you obviously, the lower the volume, the more choppy it's going to be. What time is the options webinar? It's same time tomorrow night, 8 Eastern time. Let's see. Look, I have one. So a Harami is a signal that needs verification the next day. Yes. Like Vivus is a bullish Harami today, but if it closed above yesterday's high, it would not have been a signal. Correct. Let's go to Vivus. Whoops. I've done something severely wrong. Yes. Had this closed up above the today's high, it wouldn't necessarily be a sell signal or a buy signal. Because if it opened here and closed here, and it was some sort of signal, the Japanese rice traders would have told us what that signal was. And we don't have anything that shows something that opens higher and closes higher. Now, you could make the assumption that because it was supporting on the 200, that they're moving away from the 200, but it becomes even more effective if we see a bullish Harami, and the next day they open up positive. That basically tells you they're confirming the bullish Harami, which means that's that much more evidence we're going positive. EdgeScan is not listed yet. As a matter of fact, I was going to do that over the weekend. And I hate to say this, the weather was so nice in Pittsburgh, I couldn't come into the office. It was just too hard. So we will have some of Ed's formulas up on the document area of the website or of the chat room. I always get confused when a candlestick opens below the low of the previous candle, but ends up closing higher. Any insights? That will usually happen, for example, like right here. If you see something opening lower, watch to see what it does. The advantage we have with the candlestick signals is that we can immediately see if it's going green. If it's going green, especially on a situation where it's bouncing off a support level, that immediately tells us something. That even though if somebody else is looking at this stock and saying, oh, it's down 70 cents today, it must be down. If we can see that it's open and there's a green candle is occurring, that basically tells us after they opened it, the bulls were still buying. So it has a completely different context than just seeing a line here that tells us we're way down here and we don't know really what's going on after that. And so a lot of times you'll see something open lower and then start trading higher. Let me see if I can find something that gives a better example. Obviously not, other than maybe right here. But if they open it lower, especially in the oversold condition of stochastics, that's going to create, that's a much more meaningful situation. Let's see. Now, if they open it lower after a sell signal in the overbought condition, obviously that means that's the direction they're moving. Okay. Oops. Harami can open or close at the same level of the previous candle. Yes, a Harami can open or close at one of those levels. When it opens and closes at the same level that it opened the previous day and closed at the previous day, or vice versa, so that the opens and closes are the same, but that's a different meaning. It doesn't happen very often. But you can have a bullish Harami by opening at the previous day's close and then closing just below the previous day's open. Would something like Kalkin money flow indicators be added benefit along with stochastics, or would it muddy the waters? John, I have no idea what that even is, but what you can do is if you think it's something beneficial, what I do is I've got my basic charts. If somebody says, look at such and such indicator, I can always add it to the chart and see if it does anything to improve my probabilities. So that's the whole purpose of knowing the basics of candlesticks and then applying other indicators to it. As you can see, we've applied the T-line and the moving averages. You can also apply Fibonacci numbers if you want to see why something is reversed in an open space area. So essentially what we're not trying to find all the indicators that make candlesticks work. We know candlesticks work. Now we're trying to find the other indicators that would add further confirmation of why there's been a change of investor sentiment that we can see graphically at particular levels. So I use the candlestick signals as my basics. Then anything else that I can add to it can or improve the probabilities of that trade working, it's just that much better. Let's see, Patty, that's an engulfing signal, and if it's in the opposite direction, it's a strong reversal signal. All right. I trade through TradeStation, and many of these small price stocks are not shortable because of the security is hard to borrow. Does anybody else have that problem? Small price stock, especially most, all brokerage firms, I think, won't short stocks that are below $5. That's why I use, that's why I use $5. I want to have stocks that are trading above that level. So, number one, so it's marginable. And obviously, if the stock's not marginable, then you can't short it because the way they short stock is when you sign your margin agreement, that's saying that whatever stock you have in the account, they can borrow it from time to time to lend to somebody else so they can short it, and then it will eventually be replaced into your account. Is the option webinar for beginners? Andy, yes, I try to make it simple enough to that it makes sense to the sophisticated investor as well as the beginning investor. Okay, what about puts? Yeah, small price stocks. All right, lost the train of thought there. If a price is alternately closed on either side of the T line, then does stochastics or a channel to get general direction, then just take the trades in the direction of the trend? Jim, if it's bobbing uh, something like this, I stay out of the trade until I can figure out which direction they're planning to go. There's the nice thing about candlesticks is it tells you when there's a trend that you can easily identify, and it also tells you there isn't a trend that you can't easily identify. So if you're getting in a situation where you can't identify the trend, the whole purpose of investing using some sort of trading platform is so that you have an advantage. And if you can't see any advantage on your charts that you know that you can identify when the advantages are there, then just stay away from that trade for a little bit. Now, that's not to say that everything that's not trading well is not going to be tradable. It might be for 2 weeks. Apple trades sideways and you can't trade it. Then all of a sudden it will start moving in a direction where you can see which way it's going to go. Okay. Ever use the McClellan oscillator supposed to track smart money? Jim, no. When I use the candlestick signals, everything that is built into the market thinking is built into that graphic. Everybody that is following any indicator, anybody that's following any fundamental research, or analyzing what other markets are doing, are all making their decisions, and the final decisions are the buyers and the sellers that have made a transaction. Can you briefly explain up or down hammer and Harami? Up and down hammer, Harami. Victor, I don't know what that means. A Harami, obviously, is where it opens above the previous day's close and closes below the previous day's open. A Harami is an inside day. That basically tells you the selling has stopped. If it opens positive, that's bullish confirmation. Okay, if that's right. Victor, I don't know what the up or down hammer means. Hammer at the bottom is a hammer. A hammer at the top is a hanging man, which is a sell signal. Support and resistance. What about support and resistance pivots? That's everything that you can add. I don't use them, only because I've had enough success with just doing the charts by themselves. But again, anything that you can add to kind of confirm that a trend is reversing or a trend is continuing, use it. This isn't exclusive of other stuff. Candlesticks is the basics of all human emotions. That's fear and greed. Then you can apply anything else you want to it. Okay, you just backed off from your mic. All right. What percent gain are you looking for in a stock if you are a day trader? If I'm a day trader, I'm just looking for a high probability trade situation, which is what the doji sandwiches do for us or the flutter kickers do for us. Let's see. So I don't look for a percentage move if I'm day trading, which I very rarely do. What I'm looking for is what I have as a high probability trade moving in the direction I think it should be moving. And then if it's at a breakout or doji sandwich, at least I can identify what my potential could be for the day. Are you going to define stop loss and options tomorrow? Heath, there's nothing to do as far as stop loss and options. An option is just a function or a method of buying the stock. So if I see a buy signal on a stock, I can either buy the stock, I can buy it on margin, or I can buy the calls, or I can buy a call spread. I'm just figuring out the method to buy that stock. If that stock comes back through to show a sell, then that's when I close out the option position because, again, the option was just a method of buying that stock. Several stocks this week complied with a buy signal that ended up erasing in a significant loss for the day. A couple even triggers stops for a loss. Anything you can use this to avoid these type of losses? Yes. If you're looking at a situation, well, jumping Jehoshaphat. If you're looking at a situation, which one? Okay. Let's say I'm going to be buying DXCM on a positive open tomorrow. If it opens positive, based upon this pattern, what do I expect it to do? I expect it to move up. So if I buy it right here at, I'm going to just say 2160 on a positive open, and it starts moving up, why was I buying this? Number one, because if I saw it breaking out, it should be moving positive, which means what should it not be doing? It should not be moving up and then coming back down through the open. So I just use the open as my stop. If it's another situation where, let's say, we own this stock and it opens positive and immediately starts selling off, I don't want to see it trade back below this level where it opened the previous day, and I don't want to see it close here. So there's different stop losses. We won't be getting into, callers and, what do I say, iron butterflies, condors. I don't do those very often because those are based on stock prices that aren't moving. The whole basis of candlestick analysis is we're looking for the stock prices that are moving. So I probably won't delve into situations where you're buying calls on one side and selling puts on the other side, or vice versa. I'm going to be looking more at a directional trade that makes sense. Everybody and their brothers. Okay. All right. Heiken Ashi, Heath, I helped write some of the formulas for Heiken Ashi for some people, but Heiken Ashi does not come anywhere close to the effectiveness of of the T line. Let's see. Bill, okay, yes, we do have 3 books on candlesticks on the website. The first one was published with Wiley & Sons. The second one, which is High Profit Candlestick Patterns, which is your real meaty one. And then the latest one, which Candlestick Analysis, Eliminating Your Emotions. If you know the probabilities of what should happen after candlestick signal, it now becomes a much more mechanical trade versus an emotional trade, and it kind of keeps your trades out of your keeps your emotions out of your trading decisions. No, that's a good looking chart. That's not a belt hold. A belt hold. This is a belt hold. A belt hold is when they gap it way out of the trading range, and then they bring it back into the trading range. That tells you they've wiped out a lot of buyers, and the sellers took control. That means that you're probably in a downtrend. Same scenario on the downside. If they happen to gap this way down and bring it back up into the trading range, that means they've wiped out a lot of sellers. You're going to have a good, strong uptrend. Okay. All right. CVC is a belt hold. Yes. Except it didn't get started. Oh, I'm trying to think of some other the belt holds. I can't think of them right now. We may see some as we go through. Okay, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. There's a belt hold. See what happened? You're kind of in a sideways mode here. And then they gapped it way down below the trading and brought it back up into the trading range. And notice what that did. That wiped out a lot of the sellers. So that meant your trajectory of your new trend was going to be stronger because there was no sellers in the way. Okay, Jim, I hope you've done the second double line by now. Look, we're way up here. Oh, we're way up here. All right. Bye. Okay. Oh, just a reminder, we're still taking applications for doing the private training session up at the lake or Keuka Lake. So anybody interested, we're got very limited space. The accommodations are right there at the house. All your meals are taken care of. We get to the wineries. We get to the Curtis Airplane Museum. But be 2 solid days of going through everything that you want to know about candlesticks and how to use them effectively. And then the third day, a half day, is taking all that information and show how you effectively scan for the best trades. And so if you've got a day where you've got 60 good trades, we go through the analysis of what makes one better than the other so that you finally have it narrowed down to the best 2 or 3 trades for the next trading day or whatever time frame you're using. Okay, let's see, GNW. So again, anybody interested and you need more information, I don't think Abraham's got all the information out on the website yet. If you need information, email me, Steve at Candlestick Forum, and I'll be glad to, and send your phone number. I'll be glad to get on the phone and answer any of the questions. We'll probably, we did 3 sessions last year. We're probably just going to do 1 this year. So that means we've got about 2 or 3 spaces left in that one. Okay, GNW, nothing here yet, but if it breaks through this level up here, which would be about the $11 and let's say 20-cent level, that's when you want to be buying. Bank of America. Let's see. Bank of America, all you can do on this one is stay long as it doesn't close below the T-line. Ford Motor Company, another one where you want to stay long in this one. Whoops. Got a nice big fry pan bottom. This one I'm still suspecting will get up into the $20 range and eventually up into the $30 area. Say eventually. At some point when everything looks good with the car companies and Ford looks good, it's going to become where all the institutions want to have that back in their portfolio. HIMX, another one where it might not be very powerful to the upside, but as long as you've got that Morningstar type signal, now you've got a double doji, which makes this very simple. If it opens positive tomorrow, you're going to be pushing back up toward this level. And if they break through there, you can draw a line through the tops, and that's your next target to the upside. HNT needed to come back up above the T-line today to stay in it, and it just barely got there. So this one, if you see this open positive, you want to be buying immediately. And SPPI also needed to stay above the T-line, and it came up. You've got a nice cup and handle setup with the suspect target being up here at the 200-day moving average. NXST. It's getting ready. If this opens positive tomorrow, you can be buying. Just use the T-line as your stop. That's going to make a very effective J-hook type pattern. And BONT, all you can do with this one, notice there's that kind of belt hold, bullish engulfing. That meant that when you got into this little profit-taking area, they took it down and brought it right back up. That took out a lot of sellers. That meant your uptrend was still in progress. AYR, nice little J-hook. This one you want to be buying on positive trading tomorrow. And let's see what else we got here. Tiffany got rolled around here a little bit. Oops. That one's not working, is it? Took it down, took it up, brought it back down, but notice they can't get it back below the T-line. All you need to do on this one is stay long until you see a sell signal. And whoops. Let's see, Tiffany, I'm sorry, let's see. S.NG. This one's got that little scoop type pattern. If it breaks through the 50, you're going to get a slingshot effect to the upside. So watch to see what it does once it gets to the 50. Valero. You can see the squeeze going on right here at the resistance level. Got a pennant formation, stochastics heading down. This one, if it broke through this level, that would tell you the downtrending channel has been broken, and you're going to be to the upside. But this one definitely has to close above the T-line. If it doesn't, if they trade this one off tomorrow, they're still bringing it back down to the 200 moving average. CLSN, S.CLSN. Well. We might have to come back to that one. I hope these charts aren't taking a break. Yes, they're taking a break. All right. If that ain't a fine howdy do. Let's see. All right, let's see if we can get things cranked back up. There we go. Okay. HK, still in a downtrend until you see a buy signal. Ego has now broken up through the 50. If they open this positive tomorrow, you want to be buying immediately. And PKT, nice rounding bottom. It backed off today. I would still have a buy stop right up here at 1507. But if it comes up through that level, you definitely want to be a buyer. And, oops. Okay, how can you all be scrolling past me when I've got this set on lock? Okay, TNKN. That one, obviously in a slow uptrend, but I wouldn't buy this until you see it get back up above the T-line. And same scenario here. It looks like you did, let's say it looks like, why don't we make this big enough where we can see what we're looking at here. Bullish Harami right on the 50. I'd be ready to buy it, but I'd rather buy it up here at 43.20 knowing that it broke through this downtrending channel and through the T-line. And Facebook. Facebook, you stay short. Let's see, did I do CLDX? CLDX, you want to buy this one on positive trading tomorrow because it's going to move in the direction of how they opened it after doji, coming out of a little fry pan bottom. There's your dimple, which is a left-right combo. If they break through this level, they're going higher. Let's see. LFL. This one you could be buying on positive trading tomorrow using the T-line as your stop. OTEX. Another one where you can be a little rounding bottom, be buying this one on positive trading. And Highway. Kicker Signal. Definitely would be buying this one on positive trading. Anytime you see that J-hook type pattern and starting off as a kicker signal, those are the ones you want to go after. And CPST. Came out of the fry pan bottom, inverted hammer, bullish confirmation. All you can do with this one is stay long until you see a sell signal. See, we did Nugget, right? Nugget, you want to be buying this one on positive trading. SSRI, buy this one on positive trading and use the 50 as your stop. QIHU, this one just barely stayed above the T-line. This has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. If it opens lower, you want to be out of the trade. Apple is kind of moving sideways. Notice it's not moving up with any great energy. If you're holding long, it needs to break out above this trend channel pretty quick. Otherwise, the longer it keeps slowly moving up and you use up your stochastics, the more you're going to have the probabilities of them resisting at the next resistance level, and they turn it back down. IBM, also sideways. It needs to break one way or the other. And that's pretty much what this market is doing, obviously, is moving sideways, not knowing which way it wants to go. Amazon, same scenario. Amazon's just too hard to trade for any percentage move right now. It needs to get into a trend. DDD sold off hard today. The only saving grace is still got this little rounding bottom, but this has to open positive tomorrow to even think about, if you got out today, to even think about getting back in, it needs to close up above the T-line. And Cisco, another one that if it opens positive, it's breaking out into new territory, which means it needs to open positive tomorrow to really get any action out of it. Merck also could be stuck in this channel. Notice that it gapped up above the channel and came back down in it. That's not a good sign. That pretty much tells you, unless they can turn this around strong and get it out of this range, you're going to be stuck in this range still. Not a very good trading situation. Sony, stay short until you see a buy signal. Nike is just now trying to get back up above the T-line after an inverted hammer. I wouldn't buy it unless you see a close above the T-line. And CSX, S.CSX, stay short until you see a buy signal. And TBT, this is short the 20-year Treasury notes. It's still above the T-line, which means it's still that the bond prices are still heading down. HL, this one you can be buying on positive trading. Consolidation's over. And CTSH. Another one that's sideways. I'd be trading something else until this showed a signal. U.S. Steel, still in a downtrend. After it got stuck below the T line, it can't get above it. Let's see what's happening here. Whoops. Well, there's a ring there. Couldn't find it. Apple, WBMD picked up strength today. Left-right combo right at the breakout level. This one you want to be buying on positive trading. There's your fry pan bottom. Kind of an ugly scoop type pattern, but the left-right combo gives you a good strong message. But if they open this positive, we're in wave 3. And PF. S.PF. Pinnacle Foods. That doesn't look like it's a big trader. Were you thinking of PFE as in Pfizer? Pfizer still stays short, so you see a buy signal and a close above the T line. We did Merck, CADX. Nice breakout. Doji gap up through a resistance level. You can be buying this one using the halfway of this point as your stop. And Beeve also sideways. I would rather put a buy stop at 65, knowing that when it came up through there, they've finally broken out of this trading area. SZYM. Stay long. Notice how it used the T line as support. Stay long until you see a sell signal. And AFSI. This one you want to be ready to go short on any weakness. And you can see why, because it's resisting at the 50. Means they're probably taking it back down again toward the 200. Nautilus. This one, slow. It needs to see something big within the next day or so. Otherwise, you're going to be in a sideways mode. Dick's Sporting is good. Another sideways mode unless it breaks out heavy to the upside. And AIT. This one is nice rounding bottom. Notice it started with a kicker signal. Now you have a doji gap up. Can't close below the T line. That's a good looking chart. And let's see, OXY. Okay, where did that go? OXY, all you need to do is stay long as it doesn't close below the T line. And where did I see that I missed a bunch of them? Okay, DVT. And that one's S.DVT. That one's not coming up. We did DXCM, BHE. There's a good looking chart also. good J-hook pattern setup. FIO, you want to be buying, especially if this opens positive. You know at least your first pop is going to be after the 50-day moving average. ARNA, this one you can buy on positive trading. If it opens positive tomorrow, it tells you the profit taking's over. You can start stepping in at that time. And Depot, big bullish engulfing signal, another one you can be buying on positive trading using the T-line as your stop. Dang didn't get started today, but I would use yesterday's high now as my buy stop. I'd rather come in at 665, knowing that it's broken up through that level. We did DDD, CPST. This one you stay long until you see a sell signal. MNKD. This one you stay long. And notice the wedge and then the doji breakout to the upside. That means there's going to be more upside. Okay, oh, there's where we were. Doji sandwich. Basically, what got a Morningstar signal, then a bullish engulfing. Makes it very simple. If it opens positive, you want to start buying. And FAS. FAS, you can stay short until you see a close above the T-line. And AFI. Oh. AFI is still trying. There's still buyers there. Even when they open it lower, they bring it back up. So if this opens positive tomorrow, you can still be buying this one. And AMD. AMD flat as a pancake. I'd rather pay up here like 420, knowing it's breaking away from the T-line. Oh, AFI gets delisted on Wednesday. All right, so that's something to keep in mind. Goodyear. Goodyear, stay long as you don't see a sell signal and the close below the T-line. Speaking of Goodyear, I was trying to find white wall tires today, and nobody sells white wall tires anymore. That ain't a fine howdy do. RBCN did a bearish harami, which means if they open it lower, you take profits, and then put your buy stop at today's open, which was also Friday's close. If it comes back up through there, you can get back in. If they open it lower, more than likely they're bringing it back down to the T-line. If they open it, they better immediately open it lower. They better immediately start trading positive after that. And CLF, stay short until you see a buy signal. Bristol Myers, this one you can be buying on positive trading. Got a kicker type signal. If they open up positive, that means the profit taking's over. It should be moving up from there. TLT. Yeah, Coker Tires was the only one that I could find that would sell it. But I can't imagine what the shipping cost is for shipping 2 tires across the nation. TLT stays short until you see a buy signal and a close above the T-line. CRR. This one you want to short if it opens weaker tomorrow. And if it opens positive, you want to close out. If you're short, you want to close out the position. Let's see. Scroll down past me again. All right. Peggy. S.PEG. Stay short, probably going to the 200. Ryland did a doji type day today. Notice how it failed at the T-line. Look for this to come back down to the 50. But notice you're in the oversold area. But if it opens weaker, you want to still short this one because if they break the 50, they're going down to the 200. FIO needs to open positive. If it opens weaker, that tells us there's really not a lot of buying coming into it. In CGR, just make sure you got a lot of volume in this one. That's the right one, CGR. And Exide, same scenario. Well, there's nothing here yet. I would put a buy stop at 55, knowing that if it came up through the T-line, that's when you want to be buying. And GDX, all you can do here is stay long. Just watch what it does once it gets to 50. It needs to get through there for a good breakout. We did DDD, Eli Lilly. Stay short. Now, if this does open positive tomorrow, you know they're probably bouncing it back up to the T-line. So if it opens positive, you want to cover your short. You can always reshort it if it starts fading off from there. Aim at, stay long, especially if this opens positive tomorrow. Coors, nothing there that would make me go long or short. I'd find something else. Tire Rack is another one, yes. Thanks, Bill. And Starbucks. Starbucks, you can see this is slowly rolling over. So, and it's not in the oversold area yet. As long as they can't close this below the T-line, above the T-line, you don't want to be long. The SPYs, as long as it can't close above the T-line, it needs to get back up there to show that the things are starting to move positive again. GLD, S.GLD. Got a very slow uptrend. Same as what you got in gold, obviously. JP Morgan, as long as it stays above the T-line. Now, this means that it has to open positive tomorrow to kind of stay with it. And a hammer signal in LPX. You can be buying this on positive trading tomorrow, but you definitely need to see it head toward the T-line pretty quick. Otherwise, you're still going to be caught in this downtrend. Bidu just sideways. I wouldn't be long or short this one right now. Has no direction. And NCMI. This one you can buy on positive trading. That inverted hammer bullish confirmation. Let's see, P&G. Whoops. This one is such a hard one to trade because Procter & Gamble is just an institutional trader. You're probably coming back up to the top of the trend channel eventually. I just think there's tons of other stocks out there that you can make more money with than Procter & Gamble. And Disney looks like it's using the T-line or the 50 as a support area, except I still wouldn't buy this one until you see it close above the T-line. NKD, trying to start, but I wouldn't buy this one. I got the right one. That doesn't, let's see. NKD, let's try this. something's happening. Let's see. Then we go to Crocs. Crocs, slow, steady uptrend. All you can do is hang on to this. As long as it stays above the T line. UNXL definitely needs to see a positive open tomorrow, at least for a bounce. And HCP also, if it opens positive, it's coming back up to the T line. And BMR, bullish engulfing, oversold area. This one, if you're buying on positive trading tomorrow, just make sure it gets through the T line. McDonald's we did, right? Let's see, McDonald's. Let's see. MCD, little Morningstar signal with an inverted hammer. This one, if you're buying, basically watch to see what it does once it gets to the T line. We did Peggy, we did TIFF, we did Disney. What do we do when a stock closes below the T line for a day or two? Get out at close? Yes. Get out. You can always buy it back, but anytime a stock is closing below the T line, the probabilities of negative stuff happening increases dramatically. What do we do? Okay, let's see. Baseball again. Let's say belt hold. Then Tiffany. No belt hold here. Belt hold is when they move it way away from the trading and bring it back. They don't know this is when you do your chat. Okay. Okay, EJ was a big belt hold. Let me try that. EJ. Oh, yes, there's a belt hold. When they gap it way down below the trading range and bring it back up, now it can be just back into the trading range. It can be a piercing signal. It can be a bullish engulfing signal. But the fact that they gapped it way, way below the trading range and brought it back up says a lot of the sellers have been taken out of the way. Let's see, PKT. Isn't that a rounding muffin top? No, it looks more like a fry pan bottom. Okay. Intel had a nice looking chart, but again, it's still a rough one to trade because it doesn't move very much percentage wise. But you can be buying this one anticipating your wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. And Microsoft, still in an uptrend. You just kind of hang with this one. And TBT has a bearish engulfing. It could be. Yes, sometimes the feeds all depend on what a feed considers the close. Sometimes the last tick, 30 seconds after the close, becomes the last close. XONE, let's see, from another view, X is a 45-degree channel. When it jumps above that channel, it returns back into it. By the Kramer has not positive on 3D stocks, said they are too volatile. This kind of comment doesn't help short term. Not short term, but remember, JC, you never listen to any one person. It's the market that you want to listen to. So anytime somebody puts out a buy recommendation or sell recommendation, there's going to be short term, meaning 1 or 2 days reaction. Then after that, then the trend will go back to normal. Jules, as a matter of fact, I talked with Jeff Gibby just about an hour before the chat session where he's getting things finalized and they're getting everything, all the little fine details getting worked out. Sam, no, I do Metastock. We're doing the formulas for Metastock. NinjaTrader. Basically, anybody that has a software program, we can write the formulas for it. Victor, you should be able to expand the charts to your screen based on the little signals or the little things that you have. Let's see, the difference between a left-right combo and a bullish engulfing. A left-right combo is a doji followed by a bearish engulfing signal or a doji followed by a bullish. I don't see one on here, but it's a doji followed by a bullish engulfing signal. Yeah, we have, we'll be done with Metastock hopefully by the end of this week. Okay. Let's see. This is my bullish kicker. All right. Andy, if you don't mind, if you haven't sent that to me, please send that formula to steve@candlestickforum.com. We will put them all on the documents area. That way, if anybody wants to look at them and tweak them, everybody can be working on the same thing. Okay, white walls, thank you. Do a Tom Sawyer. That's right. All right, I guess we got about everything here. How to build up a small account. Start with a big account. It doesn't matter whether you start with a small account or a big account. It's learning how to make profits consistently. The compounding effect will eventually get you where you want to go. I see somebody's, Greg, if you get a bad trade, go back and tell them that was a bad trade. If you let a bad trade go through and don't say anything about it, they've got little probably indicators say this one we can trade the way we want to, or this account is watching us. So if you let them get away with a bad trade, they're going to give you another bad trade because they know you won't say anything about it. Kaylin, I usually use a target. I want to see a stock have a potential of at least a 10% price move. Otherwise, it's not worth getting in. So if I do take the time to analyze a trade that's going to make me a profit, I want to make sure that if it works, it's going to make me a profit. So basically saying if I see two good charts and one has an upside of 6% and the other one has an upside of 22%, obviously I want to go with the one that has the good chart pattern that's going to make me 22%. But even if it doesn't work, at least I've got some more upside potential to get where even part way. So anyways, it's very easy to identify those bigger price moves or potentials because you don't have resistance levels or something that's going to stop your uptrend. Okay. That's it. Do you buy a call or put at the same entry as buying the stock? Andy, yes. The buying the calls is just merely if you see a stock that is time to be buying, then you figure out which call makes the most sense. And when we do our option training sessions, it doesn't matter. We're not trying to teach new strategies to use for trading options effectively. We're trying to take the simple strategies that are out there and apply them to the correct trades based upon the candlestick signals that we're looking at. Okay. Oops, I don't know what was funny. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, small accounts, all right. That's true, Miss Peggy. If you've got a small account, you might want to only trade maybe 6 positions. If you're trading a big, huge account, you might want to trade 12 or 14 positions. Okay. Guess we got most everything. If I skipped you, it was not intentional. Okay. What's the difference in your 2 candlestick trading books? The first one, profitable candlestick trading, is more of a general. It kind of shows you all the signals and kind of gives you more of the philosophy of candlesticks. My suggestion is you probably want to read the second one first, meaning profitable or high profit candlestick patterns, because that's going to zero you in on the 12 major signals and the high profit patterns that work, and give you more insight into what the analysis or the investor sentiment was that was producing them. Then, if you want to go back to the first one, that will give you kind of a fill-in of the psychology of how all the signals work. And then the third one about emotions is that if you figured out the patterns, you figured out the signals, and you're still not making money, it's not the patterns and signals that aren't working, it's you that's not working. And I say that kind of glibly because that's how I had to learn candlestick signals was, yeah, I see the pattern and I'm not making money. It's not the pattern that's not working. I'm doing something wrong. So I had to use the candlesticks to kind of get me back on track and get my emotions out of my trading. I'm always I will always sign the books, but I'd rather sign them in person. So that leaves 2 opportunities. If you number one, if you come to one of the sessions, or if I'm in a training session in your area, bring the books. I'll be glad to sign them. So again, we're going to be doing the private training session up on Keuka Lake on August 11th, 12th, and 13th. It's very educational and very entertaining. And if you've got a group of investors, and usually groups of maybe 60, 70 or more in an area where you've got some clubs, I can always assemble them someplace on a Saturday morning. I'll be glad to come and do a 2.5-hour session on candlesticks. That gives me a chance to get out and see people and be part of the country. Okay, yeah. Sam, the books are available on eBay. Oh, on eBay? I haven't seen them on eBay, but they're available on Amazon. but they're much, yeah, they're on Amazon. They still sell them at full price. So, all right. They're on eBay. Oh, wow. Miss Peggy, I don't know. Okay. All right. I'll look for white wall tires tomorrow. We'll see everybody in the chat room. Have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning.